So with 5-1, they're starting us off nice and simple so that we gain an understanding of what fractions are. So when it's asking us to write an equation that shows the total of all the unit fractions, all it's asking us to do is to say 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1/6 is 6/6. And you'll do the same thing for number 2, except for your total will equal 5/5. Number 3, you're taking the total of the circled parts. So here you have 1, 2. So you have 2/4 plus 1/4 is a total of 3/4. You can see 1, 2, 3. So here you have 1, 2, 3 sevenths plus 1, 2, 3 sevenths is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sevenths. Or you could just add those two numbers. Then I'm going to move this up a little bit. When we're adding fractions, as long as our denominator is the same, all we have to do is just add our numerators. So our denominator stays 8, our denominator stays 7, our denominator stays 9, because they're all the same. Now what we do is we add them together. 1 plus 4 is 5, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6, 7, 8, and that's that. Unit fractions are any fraction that has a 1 in the numerator. So when you're circling the unit fractions, you're just circling anything that has a 1 in the numerator. Then we have 5 faces or heads, and we're going to put hats on 3 out of the 5, so we need to choose, and they don't have to be in order, you could do it like this if you wanted to. 3 out of the 5 smiley faces have hats now. And here again, this car is 1/5 of the train, and we're going to use rectangles to draw the whole train. Well, the whole train, we know, needs to have 5 parts. So they already drew 1, so we're going to draw 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1/5 of the train is right there. Now something that's really going to help us with these word problems with the circle graph is to take the circle graph and to split it so it's in equal parts. We can't say that something's a fraction of something if all the parts aren't equal. Fractions only work if all the parts are equal. So now each of these parts is 1/4 because they're cut into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So we know that the bottom number, the denominator, is going to be 4. Which fraction are hats? So here's the hat that fills in one of the 4. Which is shirts? We know there's a total of 4, and there's 1, 2 of those parts that is shirts. Or you could also say that 1/2 is, because the way that it was originally drawn was like this. What you can't say is that it was 1/3, because you said, oh, there's a piece here and a piece here, and then that whole piece. Remember, they have to be equal. So here, and we don't have to look at the graph anymore, it says I practiced soccer for 1/4 of an hour and volleyball for 2/4 of an hour. What fraction of an hour did I practice? So I practiced soccer and volleyball, so I'm going to add them together. Remember, our denominator stays the same, and then just add the top numbers, the numerator, straight across. Number 14 says the porch floor has 9 identical boards. Jody painted 4 boards and Chris painted 3 boards. What fraction of the porch floor have they painted so far? So the whole floor is 9 out of 9. Remember, when we have two numbers the same that are on top of each other, it's the same as one whole. If I have a candy bar broken into 9 parts and I eat all 9 parts, I've eaten the whole candy bar. So we have 9/9 of the porch. Jody painted 4 of the 9. Chris painted 3 of the 9. Oopsie. Of the 9. So if we look here, and I'm going to erase this now because this is just going to confuse us. if I look now, I'm going to add these two together to find out how much they've painted together so far. So just add those together. On the remembering side, we're back to this review that we do over and over and over again with our equations. Remember, 3D is the same thing as saying 3 times D. We can also think in our head that this is the same thing as saying 21 divided by 3 equals what? And we know that D equals 7. Here we do parentheses first. So if we do our parentheses first and we get 9, and then we do 7 times 9, T equals 63. Here, we need to subtract this 1 from both sides. That way we can get the variable by itself. So that cancels these out, and then we have 4D equals 16. And what do we multiply by 4 to get 16? That's going to give us D equals 4. And the rest of these I'll let you do on your own. This should be pretty straightforward. Remember, for area, with a rectangle, you just multiply the two numbers together. So both of these, you'll multiply them together to find the area. And then the perimeter, you're going to take 3 plus 5 and multiply that by 2, because you have 3 plus 5 here, and then you have it a second time here. So your perimeter will be 8 times 2, and your perimeter will be 16 centimeters. Number 13 and 14 are kind of tricky. Number 13 says a group of scientists discovered 9 Stegosaurus footprints and 6 times as many T-Rex footprints. How many dinosaur footprints were there altogether? So we have Stegosaurus is 9. The T-Rex is 6 times as many as we got of the Stegosaurus. So the Stegosaurus was 9, so the T-Rex is 6 times 9, which is 54. And we want to know all together, so we are going to add those two numbers together to get a total of 63 footprints. There were 63 dinosaur footprints altogether. Number 14 says the scientists discovered 21 Tyrannosaurus eggs. Some eggs were broken. There were 6 times as many unbroken eggs as broken eggs. How many eggs were not broken? And these are the ones we didn't like very much when we did them at the beginning of the year. How we're going to look at this is we're going to say broken eggs plus unbroken eggs equals 21. Okay, so if we say some eggs were broken, we have B for broken, and it says 6 times as many unbroken eggs as broken. So there are more unbroken eggs. So 6 times as many broken. So we have 6B is what the unbroken egg stands for, because it's 6 times as many, equals 21. I'm going to switch colors just because I don't want it to get messed up with this. So we have B plus 6B, which is a total of 7B, equals 21. What do we multiply 7 by to get 21? B equals 3. Remember, this isn't your answer. B is telling us how many broken eggs there are. We want to know how many are not broken. Well, if there were 3 that were broken, it says that there are 6 times as many that were unbroken. So we're going to take 3 times 6, and there are 18 eggs that are unbroken.